NBA free agency winners and losers here on day one of 2021 free agency. Harrison Graham, Chase Sr., we are presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/chat. Get 20% off plus free shipping at checkout. You won't regret it because they have the best men's grooming products available. All right, Chase, we got some winners. We got some losers. Let's start with winners. We like to keep things positive here to kick things off. The Miami Heat, maybe the biggest winners of all so far.
I would agree with that, and no team has been more active at all levels in terms of big splashes, filling needs, while also retaining some of their own talent. Sign and trade with Kyle Lowry. I think he's the perfect player to help put the Heat over the edge. A backcourt of Lowry and Jimmy Butler, two absolute bulldogs
really
and junkyard dogs who you don't want to go up against in a 7-game series. You retain Duncan Robinson, a very good young piece. He gets the most money of any undrafted player in the history of the NBA. That's how the game has evolved, where shooters are valued to this level. And a guy that you bring in like PJ Tucker, like Kyle Lowry, is just a culture changer who is such a phenomenal defensive player. Obviously, Lowry is going to be the highlight of this bunch, but every single move, I think, is impactful for a variety of reasons.
Yep.
And Pat Riley is a straight-up OG. The dude hates losing. He wants more rings on his resume, which is already Hall of Fame packed and stacked. And every move that the Heat have made just has a Pat Riley fingerprint on it.
Yeah.
Because it's all guys who have developed over time, who fit the culture, who work hard. This is just a phenomenal free agency period on night one by the Heat. A monster splash that's making an impact of a tsunami wave.
You know what I like about all these moves? They all fill different roles.
Yep.
Lowry can shoot, space the floor, handle the rock, play defense. PJ Tucker, just a defensive assassin.
Yes.
Like, as simple as
It's
that.
guarding KD in the playoffs.
And Duncan Robinson, a 6'10 dude that can light it up from 30 feet. Like, they all play a role. They're all going to fit into this rotation nicely. Robinson and Tucker can start or come off the bench.
Yep.
A lot of lineup combinations that Eric Spoelstra can run out this upcoming season. The LA Lakers, hey, listen, no cap space, but you know what? They are filling out this roster in a very, very impressive way. They've signed 3, I think, guys that will all be in the rotation next year to cheap deals: Trevor Ariza, Wayne Ellington, and Dwight Howard.
I was in this post. You were in that post during the night of the NBA draft. We had to go live early because the Lakers made that monster trade, trading for Russell Westbrook from the Washington Wizards. And at the time, we said, this is kind of weird because we're not sure it fits. Plus, Russ, even though he's a very dynamic player, making $44 million per year. That's a lot of money, and he doesn't shoot. He's a very inefficient shooter. So it didn't make sense to us because we were like, well, there were rumors about the Lakers trading for Buddy Hield. I think that would have been a better fit. They need shooters, and if they don't address that need, they're in serious trouble because LeBron, AD, and Russ downhill is certainly breathtaking. In terms of spacing the floor, they didn't have space shooters. What did they do in free agency? Targeted 2 on 1-year contracts who are going to come very cheap. Trevor Ariza went to Westchester High School. He comes back to L.A. That's where he went to school at UCLA as well. Wayne Ellington is still a sharpshooter. So you get a very efficient shooter in Ellington as well as a 3-and-D knockdown shooter in Ariza. And then Dwight Howard fulfills another need for a cheap price on this roster. You saw the impact that he had 2 years ago, helping lead the Lakers to a championship. They desperately missed him last year. And Harrison, I think it's safe to say that paying Montrezl Harrell over Dwight Howard was a miss. He was also great for the culture. As a guy who gives you defense and energy and throws down dunks, I really like Dwight Howard coming back to L.A.
And just in, Kent Bazemore signing as well, a guy who's not what he once was, but again, another 3-and-D guy that can give you 10 to 15 minutes off the bench in a pinch. This Lakers team is rounding out this roster in a very, very impressive way. I love what the Lakers have done here on day one of NBA free agency. Let's talk the Chicago Bulls next. Winners and losers here on NBA free agency day one. They started free agency, Chase. They made the first move by pulling in Lonzo Ball via sign and trade.
Who could have predicted that Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso would be reuniting yet again in that backcourt
City, baby.
From L.A. to Chicago? In all honesty, really like the signing of Lonzo Ball. The price tag, more than, I think $80 million.
4 years, $85.
It's a lot for Lonzo Ball. There's no doubt about it. But this guy, crazy to say it, is still in his early 20s.
Yep.
And he has gotten progressively better each and every year, especially as a shooter. The big knock on him coming out of UCLA, he's got that weird hitch, launches it from the side, very inconsistent, can't rely on him.
He's fixed it.
He shot almost 40% from distance last year. If that number continues to go up, that's outstanding. His vision is certainly special. And you get him back to playing point guard finally, which is great because I do think that better suits him because Zion Williamson was running a lot of point last year. Lonzo, Zach LaVine, Nikola Vucevic, that's legit.
You get Alex Caruso as well, 4 years, $37 million, maybe a slight overpay, but a guy who's really found his niche in the NBA as a good defensive guard, has improved as a scorer as well. So I like the two additions of Caruso and Ball to the Chicago Bulls. We'll get to some losers in a second, but first, biggest winner of NBA free agency so far. Let us know down in the comments section who the biggest winner of free agency has been up to this point. Let us know. I'm still going to go Miami because they've gotten the bigger fish here, Chase. But the Lakers and Bulls are right up there for me as well. Go ahead and let us know what you guys think down below. Now, today's show is presented by Manscaped. You can get 20% off plus free shipping with our promo code CHAT. Just go to manscaped.com/chat. Get the Lawnmower 4.0 and all of their men's grooming products at Manscaped for 20% off. Keep it clean downstairs. You want to get frisky in bed. You don't want to be gnarly down there. Trust me on that one. Been there, done that. It's a bad experience. Manscaped.com/chat. Get 20% off plus free shipping. The Lawnmower 4.0 has skin-safe technology for adjustable guards. It's a fantastic product. Keep your balls clean. Your balls will thank you. Go to manscaped.com/chat. Let's get to some free agency losers. Golden State, and the theme here really is, well, they just haven't done much.
At all.
Of anything, literally.
Yeah. They can redeem themselves by making some big moves throughout the rest of NBA free agency. And let's be honest, this roster is really good right now with the addition of Klay Thompson, which you can kind of factor in as a free agent acquisition because he's been out of the lineup for the last 2 years. I think the frustration here stems from the NBA draft, though. Jonathan Kuminga at 7, raw prospect. Didn't make a lot of sense. Moses Moody at 14, I liked it a little bit better as a 3-and-D prospect. I just thought the Warriors were going to be a little bit more active. Clay, Draymond, Steph, they preferred giving up pick 7 and 14 to go after a marquee player in free agency or via trade. That has not happened yet. And the Warriors, I want to see them getting back to competing for championships. Without the moves that they've been making, I'm not sure that they can compete among the elite teams right now.
Look, you can't force it, but you'd like to see something happen too if you're a Warriors fan. Next up, the San Antonio Spurs. I got to tell you, Chase, I just don't know what direction San Antonio is going in. You signed Zach Collins to 3 years, $22 million. I don't hate that deal, but 3 years and $42 million for Doug McDermott? Like,
yeah, it's weird.
That's a lot of money, man. Like, for a guy that shoots really well but literally does nothing else. Can't play defense, can't handle. That's a major overpay, in my opinion.
Very one-dimensional player for an organization that has valued well-rounded players.
They need versatility.
I didn't understand the Josh Primo pick at number 12. I thought that was just a massive reach. Don't really get Doug McDermott. I think Zach Collins has some upside as a big. That's certainly an area of need, but he's been injured so much. I'm not sure if the Spurs front office can't get in touch with Greg Popovich, who's in Tokyo for the Olympics, or what. But I thought that the Spurs organization was much smarter than this.
They've been in a weird spot the last several years. The Boston Celtics, our last day one loser on 2021 NBA free agency. Hey, listen, kind of like Golden State, it's been quiet so far. You lose Evan Fournier to the New York Knicks, and you haven't added anyone. Only had one draft pick of Juan Begarin in round 2. Again, it's early. It's day one for agency winners and losers, but from what we've seen so far, Chase, they have to be in the losers category.
Point guard is a glaring need on this team. The only point guards on the roster after that Kemba Walker trade who can actually really play, Marcus Smart, who's really never even played traditional point guard, and Peyton Pritchard. And all of the good point guards are really off the market. There was some interest for Boston going after Lonzo Ball. Instead, he goes to Chicago. Now you're looking at other players, like maybe a Patty Mills at point guard. TJ McConnell also re-signed with the Pacers. I thought that would have been a fiscally responsible and smart move for the Celtics to address point guard. You have Jason Tatum, who I think is probably a top 10 player. Jaylen Brown is one of the better two-way players across the league. You still have needs at point guard as well as big man. And there aren't a lot of great options out there unless you're going to trade away Marcus Smart, which could get you something back. He's going into the final year of his contract.
Do they get desperate and trade for a Kristaps Porzingis? I mean, I don't know. It's definitely something interesting. Who is the biggest loser of NBA free agency so far? Let's hear it from you guys down in the comment section. Biggest loser throughout NBA free agency so far. And remember, subscribe, Chat Sports. We're going to be live during NBA free agency. Chase is going to be live tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern, so stay tuned for that. We'll be live throughout the week, breaking down the latest signings, news, rumors, everything else. So hit that big red button and subscribe and share that link below. It's youtube.com/chatsportstv.